Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live again this Wednesday morning. I go live every single Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. On the first Wednesday of each month, though, I do offer a card class to go. So basically what this is I'm going to show you 3 cards using the Under the Moon stamp set today. And then for the next week until May 6th, you have the opportunity to make a purchase, a $60 or more purchase, and you will get the kit, like all the paper pieces and everything to make this card kit. Now you do have to use my host code because I have some other promotions running as well. I've got a different host code for anybody wanting to sign up for my Country Flowers Stamp Camp. So you do have to use my host code to get this card kit. But if you were planning to attend both, you could message me and we'll just choose one of the host codes, and then it would be the Stamp Camp purchase plus the $60. And you could get yourself both and save a little bit on shipping. So what's going to happen is I'm going to switch over to my desktop. I'm going to show you the 3 cards. I'll probably talk to you a lot about new products today because it's the first day of our new annual catalog. And then I'll kind of go over again how to, I don't know what's happening there. That was weird. I'll go over again how to get yourself the kit to make these cards. You'll get enough stuff to make 2 of each of these 3 cards with that purchase and using the host code. So let's switch over to my desktop and get started crafting. All right, solo layout, there we go. And so hopefully this is recording. Normally by now I can see on my screen that people have joined me and are watching, but my computer screen is not showing me that. It could just be a delay though, because I've found my internet really sketchy today. So hopefully this is recording. So this is a brand new stamp set out of our new annual catalog. It's called Under the Moon. I am a huge fan of these kind of like scenery style stamp sets because it allows you to look like you've watercolored some fantastic creation without actually doing any watercoloring. They're very fast to put together and require way less skill than the finished card makes it appear. So yay. I'll just show you in our new catalog because I am finally allowed to show you inside our new catalog where those are seen. So it's on page 88 in our new catalog. They've got the whole stamp set shown there. And then over here on the side, they have just a little sample of a day and a night version of this card. Oh, good. I'm starting to see people popping on with me. Fantastic. So maybe there's a bit of a delay. Now, it was funny because I had actually not seen this stamp set the first go through on flipping through the catalog until somebody on one of my demonstrator pages said, "Why is Ken holding a sponge dauber on page 88? So I had to go and check it out. So they've created like a little scene there, and they've got like a, not really a Barbie and a Ken, but like little action figures, and he's holding a sponge dauber. So that was kind of funny. They've had a lot of fun putting together this catalog. So with that shown, I'm going to also share with you the stamp set that I'm pairing up with this one. Now, you could really pair up any stamp set with Under the Moon. So I just chose something fancy because it has so many different sentiments, and it's a stamp set that's carrying over from previous years. So it was already in my stash. So that's always a nice thing too. All right, so our first card is this beauty. So we've just created a very simple background with the little sailboat and everything. And then I put happy birthday on this. You could really go with any sentiment like a thank you or whatever. So I'm going to pop that off to the side, bring in the supplies we need. So we've got an 11 by 4¼ thick basic white card base. And then I scored that at 5½. Ooh, and I can use my new clean bone folder to really get that put down. There we go. So that's our base. And then the first layer that goes on there, I've actually already embossed just because I didn't want to bring my big machine into the view. But I've already embossed it with this really awesome swirly pattern. But I wanted to show you the embossing folder, even though I'm not using it, to show you how extremely giant it is. In fact, I should have, I will when I prep my card kits. I could have put 2 whole pieces on there because this embossing folder is actually 6 inches by 8½ inches, which means it's going to be great for doing any scrapbooking. And yeah, it's just going to be wonderful. So I've only done one here and I've already embossed it. It's not one of our 3D ones. So when you put it through, you just use your 2 clear plates around it and nothing else. And yeah, it runs through just beautifully. All right. So that's the So Swirly embossing folder. It's fantastic. I am going to adhere a piece of Designer Series paper onto this So Swirly. This is our new 2024 pattern for all of our Designer Series papers. So you buy them by the color family. So I've got here the new In Color family, and I'll just show you on the Petunia pot because it's I think one of my favorites, that and the Summer Splash that I'm using. There are 4 patterns. So you've got your dots, this really kind of cool, almost, I don't know, like a batik pattern. You've got your stripes and you've got your leaves. So you get, well, in the In Colors, because there's only 5 colors, you actually get, I think it's like 8 sheets of each, or four sheets. Yeah, you get 4 sheets of each pattern. So 8 sheets of each color. And then the 5 different colors. In the regular color families, you only get 2 sheets of each, I believe, because you have 10 colors, not just 5. So it's absolutely gorgeous paper. I'm using this on 2 of our cards today. I love it. So there's that. And I am using some of my favorite In Colors for these cards. I'll actually just show you. I've got Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, and Summer Splash are the 3 In Colors that I'm kind of featuring on these cards today. The other 2 In Colors that I'm not using, I actually love, and they go so beautifully together. I might use them together on another card class. It's our Pretty in Pink, which is making a comeback. If you've been with Stampin' Up! For a while, you'll remember that one. It's from a long time ago. And then Shy Shamrock, which I am so excited about because we have needed a truly, the camera's not doing this one justice, but this one is truly like a real shamrock green, like a Kelly green. It is gorgeous. So those are the 5 new In Colors. And then we did get an extra color this year. It's just part of our neutrals, and it's our basic beige. This one is great for doing no line watercoloring and lots of other things. It's a really beautiful neutral, a little bit more brown than a vanilla, but still very, very pale. Love it. Hi, Janet. Good morning. I am so in love with these In Colors. I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed playing with them. I'm having trouble creating cards these days that don't include them. Which I actually have had to do because I also have a new stamp camp coming up, the Country Flower Stamp Camp, and we decided to go with the colors from the new wood grain DSP, which don't include any of the new In Colors. It does include the basic beige, but it doesn't include any of these fun summery colors. And so it's really been killing me to create beautiful flower cards without this crazy pop of color. All right, so I've just glued that DSP to the bottom of my swirl. You could save some paper and do your swirl and do your DSP and then glue them separately onto your card front. I just find it so much easier to get everything straight and lined up if I can put this DSP right onto the paper that's already the size I want. Now, before I glue this down fully, I've also got a little strip here. It's just a 1/2-inch strip of Summer Splash. And you could use whatever adhesive you like. And we're going to take that. We're going to kind of try and line it up left to right, and so that it's half on, half off your DSP. So it's not a full strip across. It's just a little short on purpose. All right. With that done, you can then take this whole piece and glue it down. Now, when you're trying to decide how to glue down your So Swirly, I truly don't think it matters. Both sides, the embossed and the debossed, are gorgeous. And yeah, it really would only matter if you were planning to apply some color to it. And then it would matter just, what side do you want highlighted, what side do you want colored. But for this card, embossed or debossed, it doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. So that's done. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to bring in both of my pieces of basic white. I think the first one, I don't even have it on a block. Yikes. First one I'm going to stamp is my happy birthday. So I'm going to grab that. That's, again, from the Something Fancy Sentiment set. So good. Grab a little block for that. Oops. Pick that up on my block. And I am using Night of Navy as my neutral. I decided not to use black on these cards. You totally could. I just thought the navy was a little bit softer and kind of kept the vibrancy of these colors. So when I stamp my sentiments, I like to stamp them vertically. Oops, and I did not. Oh, that's why I'm still wearing my glasses. I only need my glasses for distance, not up close, and so I really should get in the habit of taking them off when I'm trying to do up close things. All right. There we go. Oh, that's still not great, but it's better. All right. You know what? I've got so many scraps of basic white lying around. I am actually, how did I use them all? Yikes. I had so many scraps lying around. There's there's one. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to just do that again because that was really horrible. All right. Maybe today is not my day to stamp vertically. Normally it is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yikes. I am like, there we go. Okay. Having a horrible time with that this morning. Good morning, Lila. All right. So I got one of them stamped properly. And the paper snips. All the way over there. Doing some TV crafting last night. All right, and I'm just going to cut that on a diagonal. So I do have these papers like measured out in the PDF that you would receive if you ordered the kit. But really, like, it actually doesn't matter. We're just kind of going for a little sentiment strip that we can do a diagonal on. All right, now we're going to stamp our scene. I'm going to try and make sure I stay up where you guys can see what I am doing. I'm going to start with my Summer Splash. Ooh, I'm actually going to start by cleaning my stamp because it looks like it still has Night of Navy on it from a previous project. So let's clean that up. Okay, there we go. That will be more successful. So I'm going to grab my Summer Splash Now, it's a good thing, but I do find that when you get new inks from Stampin' Up, they can be very, very juicy, which for a stamp set like this one is not ideal. So what I do, this is why I have my ugly bone folder, is I take my bone folder and I pull the ink. I don't want to get rid of the ink. I want it to be here in my ink pad so I have a nice solid image and, you know, it shows up. So I'm going to push it off to the side, wipe off as much ink as I can back onto the ink pad over there on the end. And then just use a tissue or something to wipe off the excess, or you could use, actually that's what I should do. You could use your chamois and just wipe off the excess onto your chamois. That way it's clean for the next time, because I'm going to have to do this with all three of my inks because they're very, very juicy. Now I'm going to try to not put my image into the extra juicy edge now. I'm just going to use that lighter area and stamp this, because this is like a, oh, I can't remember the name for them now, but it's like that color by like the watercolor books. It's all like little dots, and that's what allows it to have that really cool like shading to the image. So if I used a stamp or an ink pad that was way too juicy, I would lose all that definition, and I don't want to do that. So there we go. So that is our ocean. Now I'm going to stamp in my clouds. So again, we don't want to lose the definition on them. So I'm going to use my bone folder to move that ink off to the edges. I don't want to get rid of it though, like I said. And oh, I just had a tissue. What did it? Oh, there it is. So I'll just wipe off the excess. There we go. And now I'm going to grab my cloud image, which I also don't have on a block. There we go. All right. Let's see. Block here. Oh, this block's a little bit bigger than I need, but that's okay. So I'm going to ink up that image. And when I stamp this one, I'm stamping it right down at the water's edge and only about half. Oh, I forgot to turn off all of my messaging. Hopefully we don't have too many dings in the background. All right, then I'm going to stamp this one again, or ink it up again. I'm going to stamp it up high, and I want to stamp it so that the top of the cloud just about goes off and that little cloud doesn't end up on the page. We've got the little cloud here, so I don't want it repeated over here, because then it's going to look like I'm using the same stamp. This way it looks like I've used two different images, but I didn't. All right, so that is that, and that's Petunia Pop that I used for those clouds. Just give it a real tropical vibe here. Now I'm going to stamp my sun in Peach Pie. And for this, you need just a scrap paper or something, a sticky note, like whatever you want. I bring all of my mistake papers from school when I'm photocopying something and I mess up and it's supposed to be double-sided and I don't make it double-sided. I bring all those home to use as scraps. So I'm going to take a sponge dauber and put it right into my peach pie. And then you can choose to do this like as much or as little as you want. I'm going to do about 2/3 showing. And I'm just pushing straight down onto my paper. And voila, I have a sun on the ocean. I don't know if it's a sunrise, a sunset. I think it's probably a sunrise because our sky's not dark. And that's that. Now I'm going to bring back my Night of Navy. And we are going to stamp this one using our little sailboat, which I also don't have on a block. Oh my. All right. Let's let's grab our little sailboat and see if I have a little block for him. I do. Good. All right. So for these ones, I don't want to get rid of that juiciness, although this is an older ink pad, so it's not quite as juicy, but not needing to be re-inked yet. If you find that it's not coming out as dark as you would like, though, definitely go ahead and re-ink your pad, because this is one that you do want a very solid image for. And so I just stamped our sailboat so that you've got the sun kind of going behind the sails and it's sitting there on our ocean. So nice. Yeah, just gorgeous. All right, so now that we've got all of our stamping done, I am going to grab my liquid glue and we're going to attach this piece to a border of Summer Splash. All right, so here we go. All right, so we've got that. Now I am going to put some dimensionals on the back here. Uh-oh, I have those in my upstairs crafting bin too. All right, there we go. Got some dimensionals now. Sometimes I'll like sit in my basement, do a whole bunch of stamping, and then take it all upstairs and glue it all together and everything while we watch some shows. And that way I stay awake, because otherwise I tend to fall asleep when we watch shows. All right, I'm going to peel those backings off and bring back our card base that we created. Here we go. And this is going to get centered, like top to bottom, left to right. We're going to center that, well, as best as we can. All right, now we're going to take our little sentiment here. I don't want this going, like getting glued too far over, so I'm going to put one dimensional on my diagonal end. And then my other dimensional, I'm actually going to put onto my card front so that it's like a little bit up into the cardstock area and a little bit down. And then that way I won't get my adhesive where I don't want it. Then I can go like this. Oh, I might actually have to move that. I did want that up like that. Well, actually, I can do that. Okay, just like that. No, I don't know if I like that covering up my sailboat. I don't. All right, we're going to remove that. Now, luckily, dimensionals, you probably can't remove it and reuse it, but dimensionals remove themselves very easily. You can kind of just roll them off. All right, so we're going to try this a different way. I'm going to attach this where I want it. And then I'm going to lift up the other end and put my dimensional under. There we go. All right, so I think on my other card I had my boat up a little bit higher and a little over to the right, so my happy birthday didn't interfere. That's okay. All right, and then our final touch is to add some new shimmer gems. These are gorgeous, you guys. Of all the embellishments that I've gotten, these ones are by far my favorites so far. Now, oops, how'd you get over there? Okay, so you get them in all the in colors, and look at that shimmer. Oh my gosh, I love them. I know, Lila, the new in colors are unreal. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these. I'm using the Summer Splash ones. Oops. Because, there we go. That's the DSP I've used, and it just goes so nicely. All right, so there is our Summer Splash embellishments on this card. So that's our first card all done. When you place an order and get your kit, you will get this piece already embossed. And so with a $60 order, you won't get your gems. So you might want to put those into your order. But if you place a $75 order, I will actually send you a pack of those gems to go with your kit. Yes, you'll get the DSP as well. So what you will need to have at home is the stamp set, the inks, and the adhesives. But you'll get the other bits that you need to create this. So yeah, and yeah, with a $75 order, you'll actually get a whole pack of these to go with your cards. So that is our first card, all done. Let's put that somewhere safe. There we go. Our second card takes us into the evening. This is kind of like a combo of something that I saw another demo create and then mixed with the sample in the catalog. This was their color palette in the catalog. So I just absolutely loved it. And then I added some pink just because I thought it worked. All right, so that is what we're creating. So let's start with our actually we've got 3 bits of stamping to do. We got a lot of stamping. Let's start with our blue. So again, we're going to grab that ocean. I always find it easiest to start with the ocean and then work up from there. So now this one I did stamp. Oh, darn it. Did I stamp that full strength or? I'm just going to test this because I feel like maybe I didn't. Oh, no, I did. Okay. I stamped it full strength. Okay. Just wasn't sure for a second. All right. So full strength ocean right at the bottom. And I do want the bottom to kind of go off and the sides to go off. There we go. So it really fills the space, which was the point. All right. Now, these ones, I'm pretty sure I didn't do full strength. Yeah, these ones I stamped off. So I'm going to bring in my scrap paper here. And I did a bunch of clouds, but stamped off. There we go. And let them overlap if you want. Most of them are going to get hidden anyways, but, you know, you'll know that they're there. Yeah. Okay, and maybe do one more there. All right, so we've got this nice, soft, cloudy sky. And then we're going to come in and like darken up the edges, basically. So I'm actually, I don't want to, I have to already clean my desk. It's already got ink all over it, so I might as well. Okay, so I'm going to get my Night of Navy onto a blending brush. I'm going to start in the areas that I want darkest anyways. So I want the sky along, almost like, what do you call that? There's a word for it when you have like the outside is dark and it gets light on the inside. Oh man, words are escaping me today. So dark along the outside, keep it light on the inside. And that's like all that we're going to do for that. Now, I'm actually going to, I won't wait. We'll do our dolphins now. I want to create kind of like an arch. So I'm going to start with my double dolphins. Make sure that they're really inked. So it's a nice solid image, but I want to put them so just so their tails are slightly in the water and pointing kind of upward. And then I'm going to bring in my next one, and I'm going to have his tail kind of up towards their noses, and he's coming back down. So it's creating like that little arch there. Okay, now that I'm done with my Night of Navy stamping, I am going to clean up my desktop so I don't get Night of Navy on any of my white pieces. Actually, I don't have any white pieces on this. What am I talking about? Gray and Summer Splash is what I'm using. All right, so just make sure I get rid of all that. Okay, nice and clean. Awesome. So this piece can set off to the side, or we can glue it straight onto our card base. I'm going to set mine off to the side for now. We'll do all of our gluing at the end. Now we're going to do 2 bits of embossing. So a bit of a tricky thing right now if you don't have embossing powder is we actually don't have any available. Stampin' Up! Is switching brands to an incredible brand called Wow Embossing. But we actually, although it's in our catalog, there's been a bit of a delay on shipping, so we don't have it available just yet. So to do this, so I just used my embossing buddy to get any oils off of there in case my hands had, like, I don't know, whatever on them. Now I'm grabbing my favorite sentiment from the Something Fancy stamp set. It says, "Grateful for the everyday magic of you." And I don't know about you guys, but I find dolphins just absolutely magical. So the two go together very nicely. Now this one, don't even worry about how you stamp it as long as it's on the paper, because we're going to be fussy cutting it. So sorry. So I'm just going to stamp that and then grab my tray of embossing powder. I keep mine just like in the tray always. And so I do this because I emboss a lot, but I also think I emboss a lot because I do that. It just makes it so easy. It's right in front of me at my desk. It's on like the computer tray. Now I double stamped this and have like just a little bit that I don't want embossing powder on. So I am just using, you can use a take your pick tool. I just happen to have a X-Acto knife right here. And that is the joy of embossing. If that was ink, it would be a permanent blemish and too close to be able to like put a gem or something on it. But because it's embossing powder, I can just remove the embossing powder, and when I heat everything up, it just won't heat up. So yay. All right, now I'm going to stamp the moon onto a piece of smoky slate. Now in your kit, you won't get a square. I will do the punching for you, and it will be a 2 3/8 inch circle. And you'll see, you'll have a big enough border that you'll be able to stamp on it. It won't be an issue. But I find this easier, especially for the ability to hold the paper. You'll have to use tweezers with the circle and hold just on that tiny little rim that you'll have. So it will be doable, but it will be easier if you have your own smoky slate and just do a square. But it is doable. I just didn't want to send out, like if you had to fussy cut it, it just won't look as nice. So fussy cutting circles is not a thing. All right, now hopefully this is gonna like work and it's not gonna be all too noisy. I'm gonna hold both of these at once and emboss them both. Okay. Now I didn't use my tweezers, so I'm just going to switch sides. All right. So now if you don't have a heat resistant glass top like I do on your desk, I actually wouldn't recommend doing this right onto your desk. Hold them up in the air, or I used to have like a box that I lined with tin foil, and then I would do it in there because you don't want to wreck your desk surface. So I have glass resistant or heat resistant glass though, so we're all good. All right, so now our moon, I am just going to take my 2 3/8 inch circle punch and line that up. And, oh, no. Okay. Line that up. There we go. And punch that up. Now, you'll see on my punched out circle here that if you were doing this all right on the circle, you're just going to use the spot, like they've actually got an area here where your tweezers will fit in there nicely, so you can stamp it and then pick it up in that spot with your tweezers to use it to dip into your embossing powder, and then continue to hold it while you heat it, and you're not going to wreck any of the image. Like we have that nice natural space on our moon to use. All right, so that's punched out, and now we need to grab our scissors and do a little bit of snipping. So this is all going to be fussy cut. You get to choose how fussy you are with your fussy cutting. And we're just going to completely cut this out. So I'll let you know about a few things that are going on. If you absolutely love these colors that I'm using today, these new In Colors, Stampin' Up! Has announced an amazing starter kit deal. So it's our regular $135 Canadian, gets you $165 worth of product of your choice. So go on a little $165 shopping spree in the catalog. Now it is like The Price is Right though. You cannot go over. So go on your little shopping spree and don't include your In Color products, because in the month of May when you join, you actually will get your In Color cardstock, all 5 In Color inks, your In Color markers, and oh darn it, now I've forgotten the 4th item, and one other In Color item. Why can I not remember which one it is? So it doesn't include your blends, which I am a huge fan of having all the blends. So you might want to add those into your $165 purchase. Well, $135 your cost. But you get a ton. You get 4 different In Color products for free with your starter kit. So that is just incredible. And let me just take a quick look over, because I can't believe I can't remember. Oh, the DSP. That's what it is. So you're going to get your DSP as well. So really, really, truly incredible deal. And there's so many great reasons to join and be a part of my team. Most of my team are not business people. They just like a good discount, a nice place to share some ideas. And of course, like this time of year, all my people are probably wishing that they could rejoin. You can't rejoin if you're already joined, sorry. Like currently active, because what a deal on those In Color products. So yeah, the markers, and it's our new tips on our markers. They're amazing. The markers, the DSP, the cardstock, and the 5 inks. All right, here we go. So I'm going to glue that straight down. Then I am also going to glue this to the inside. Now, if you wanted to, you could like stamp some dolphins in there and make it all pretty. I am just going to put a white insert in. This is light enough. You don't technically need one. You could write in here and it would be red, but I like it to look a little fancier and more finished. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my moon. I usually do 4 for these, well, 3 or 4, depends on how you space them. I'm going to do 3 today. And when I put my moon on here, I want that empty spot up at the top, and I want this going off the edge of my card, well, off the edge of the blue, but not off the edge of my card. How about that? There we go. And then for this little guy, I'm going to use a dimensional up here on the end, but then you want to use either a dab of glue or a mini glue dot. I'm going to use a mini glue dot because they really stick quickly. Grab my take your pick tool. Oh, I don't have it there. Where'd it go? Seem to be missing everything today. All right, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife because I can't find my take your pick tool. And I'm going to put that out here on this end. That's the side that's going to be on top of the moon. So that's really weird. I wonder where my take your pick tool went. I wasn't using it last night. All right, and then when I put this on, I want to over the moon, off the blue, and I'm going to use the bottom of the clouds and the top of my words, make sure those are straight. All right, so there we go. And then we're going to get those gorgeous shimmer gems back. And I am going to use the Pretty in Pink for this card. I just thought that they complemented these colors so nicely. And just like that. So there you have it. That's our second card finished. And I don't know, it's just so peaceful to me. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful colors. So that's card number 2. And card number 3, I think might be my favorite. So I actually stole this layout, and this is something so special about this new catalog, you guys, is in our catalog. Oh, darn it. I should have written down which page it was. In our catalog, they really want to inspire people to craft and give you ideas. So at page 22, there's all these little like card templates basically that you can use to create a card. Pick any stamp set and follow the layout, which is so, so cool. And you can find others throughout the catalog as well. This is just a little collection, but as you go through the catalog, you'll find others. So I actually don't even know if this was an actual card template, but there was a card in this catalog. And of course I didn't write down which page it was on, darn it. There was a card in this catalog using this exact layout, but a completely different snap set. And I just thought it was so beautiful that I stole the layout. And of course now I won't be able to find it to show you guys. It was so pretty though. Oh, here we go. Excellent. So yeah, it wasn't even one that they showed you a little template. But here on page 130, there was this Mother's Day card. And I just thought it was so, so pretty. I don't have these gorgeous Spotlight on Nature dies yet. So I just used my stylish shaped circles and I grabbed this sketch, the idea of those 2 strips of DSP, the circle and the sentiment and a little bow. And I made it my own. So if we put these 2 side by side, you can see that sketch in there. So that's what I did. That's how I came up with the idea for this card. So use your catalog. They're kind of going back to, they used to actually not call our annual catalog a catalog book or catalog. They called it an ideas book. And they're really going back to that feel and use that to your advantage. It is so amazing. All right, so we have a Summer Splash card base. Can you tell it's my favorite of the In Colors? Oh, and actually, you guys, that reminds me though, I have to share with you, I think my most used page in the catalog so far is page 132. It's the color theory wheel. It is so great for making color combos. And they teach you a little bit about how you can do that, finding monochromatic, complementary, analogous, or triadic color combos. And if you ever need any help kind of going deeper with that and how to do that, just contact me. I'm happy to share with you tips and tricks on how to do this. But basically, monochromatic tends to be one of my favorites. And I love, like, even just looking at, okay, what are our 3 blue greens? Okay, Summer Splash, Coastal Cabana, and Pool Party, and putting those 3 together. I mean, those 3 are pretty easy. Like, you can probably see them just looking at your color stash that they go together, but it's so nice to have it kind of all really laid out for you. And then the Lost Lagoon that you might not have thought could go with those. So yeah, it really makes it easy. So I love, love, love that page. All right, we've got our base here. I'm just going to take one of my pieces of basic white and glue it inside just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to start working on our other one. We have to do everything to it before we attach it to our card because we're going to be tying some linen thread around it. So I'm going to glue this inside my card base and then set my card base off to the side so I won't be tempted to glue anything onto it too soon. All right. So I'm going to take my strips of DSP. So these are just 1-inch strips, and you could use either side, but I really liked the side that's kind of got that more batik pattern to it. It seems very tropical to me. And I am going to put that on there. Make sure it's straight. This is where liquid glue is handy because I can kind of squish that over. Okay. And then I'm going to glue the other one, leaving the same border, but on the other end. So they're not going to be straight side by side. One's going to be up, one's going to be down. So border I left on the side, I'm now going to leave on the left and between my 2 strips of DSP. There we go. So those are nicely attached. Oh, I know. And yes, the color wheel will be coming. I don't think we have any dates on that yet. But it will be great to have one that's not in the catalog. Yeah. So, and they're going to add the neutrals to it, which will be good. So we'll have our basic beige on there. All right. So with that done, I am going to do some stamping. So I'm going to do my sentiment first. So that's my thank you in Night of Navy. And I gave you a pretty big piece in your kit. You can probably actually get 2 thank yous just in case you make a little mistake cutting, because it's not always the easiest to fussy cut these. All right, now on our circle, we are going to grab, oh, it's not on our block. Okay, we're going to grab our stamp set so that we can get our image. All right, I am going to use, oh, it's the last one in here. There we go. I'm going to use the, I don't know if it's a sun or a moon, but it's got the clouds around it. We're going to grab that. I'm going to grab a block to throw that onto. Only got one that's too big, but that's okay. All right. And now I would like my peach pie ink. And I'm going to get a sponge dauber. Oh, I'm going to move this up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to get a sponge dauber, and I am going to daub peach pie onto the inner triangle of this image. Now, if I go over into the other sections a little bit, that's okay. Like, this isn't, nothing bad's going to happen. And then we're going to grab our Petunia pop. You know, I can't get enough of these colors, Janet. And we're going to sponge our Petunia pop on here. And again, you know, you're trying to stay on this outer section, but if you accidentally go over, like, it's not a big deal. There's going to be a little bit of color transfer in a natural sky, so we're not worried about it. All right, so with those on there with the sponge dauber, we're going to grab our circle. Now, this is the second largest circle from our Stylish Shapes dies. I'm going to stand up to do this. I want to get this so that it's got like an equal border around the section of the circle that's actually there. Not equalish. Okay, there we go. So there's our beautiful sky. Oh, I love it. And now we're going to clean up our ocean again because we just had it in Night of Navy ink. So I'm going to use my chamois to clean that up. Oh, it's got Night of Navy ink all over my thumb. Way to go. All right. I think that's clean. So I've got that one all cleaned up, and I'm going to stamp it in my Summer Splash. So it looks like that's still, oh no, it's not. Okay, no, my ink moved back into place. Here, I'll show you guys when you over ink it what that will look like. It gets all splotchy and kind of gross. So I'm going to use my bone folder. And that's how quickly your ink like will go back into place. So if you're worried like, oh no, I don't want to like make my stamp pad dry, don't worry, you won't. It will spread itself out again and re-ink that pad very, very quickly. One card's length of time. All right, so now we'll try that again. Okay, and this time I want to just line it up with the bottom of that sunset. Most of our image is not even on our circle. All right, and then our dolphin. Now, I thought I kind of put our dolphin a little too low last time. So this time around, I'm going to make him be more out of the water. I didn't like how he was so kind of like in the water. So there we go. Now he really looks like he's jumping up high. All right. Now this piece can get glued onto this piece, and we are just gluing them like liquid glue, lay it flat. All right. Here we go. Center that, and this is a Summer Splash circle cut with the largest of the Stylish Shape circles. So if you are brand new to Stampin' Up, watching for the first time, this is my favorite die set. Banners, squares, circles, all stitched and all layerable, and you get both the inside and the outside cut. They are fantastic. They don't even go away with my other dies. They literally sit at my desktop where I don't have to move to reach them. Yeah, that's how much I use them. All right, so now I want to see approximately where this is going to go. So I want to make sure it's kind of lined up. Oh, that's not really on the screen for you guys. I want to line it up so it's got about the same amount of DSP showing, and that's going to let me know where to put my bow. So I'm going to take a little piece of linen thread that I could tie a bow with, kind of hold that where it should be. I'm going to wrap my linen thread around this layer twice and then snip this off with enough linen thread to finish tying my bow. All right, so with that done like that, I'm going to take my one edge, I'm going to tuck it under both strings and make a knot. Once you've made a knot, then you can like let this go and worry about the bow and not worry about keeping your strings tight. All right, so there we have it. We've got that. Now I'm going to move it over just a tiny bit. So I'm going to curve my paper and scooch that over. There we go. All right, now I can tie my bow. So bunny ear, wrap them around each other. All right. Beautiful. Okay, and then trim your ends. There. Now you can fuss with this bow. You can try to make it turn. So like this one I've got turned a little bit more. I'm not going to bother trying to do any of that until I've got the other pieces on my card. And then I'll have a good sense of exactly how I want it turned. So this piece I can now bring in here with dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 up at the top and 2 down at the bottom. That way none of them will interfere with my twine or my linen thread. Sorry, not twine. So peel that off and slide this in. Make sure your horizon on your water is straight. There we go. Excellent. And now I can see that I want to just play with these and twist them. Now, the nice thing about linen thread is that you can really like pull it in the direction you want it to go, and it will pretty much do what you want it to do. All right. So there we go. Now I've got that on more of the angle that I want it on. All right. Next is to fussy cut our sentiment, and I am actually cutting them apart. I didn't want it to stay kind of in this format with the space in there. I wanted them a little more off-centered. So we're going to get really fussy. If you don't mind them the way they're configured, you don't even have to fussy cut them. You could grab a circle punch or a circle die and cut them out on a circle to attach them to your card. I just really wanted them to not cover up any of my gorgeous sunrise or sunset or whatever this is. So I'm trimming them down as close as I can. So I'm leaving like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, maybe not even. And there we go, get rid of that. Now I am going to do a good chunk of my U as well before I cut these apart. That way I just have more to hold on to while I'm doing this. There we go. Sorry, trying to concentrate. All right, now I'm going to cut off my thank because my U is a little more straightforward, whereas my thank has a lot more dips and divots to do the inside here. Okay, just about done. There's my thank. And now I can come back and work on this U. All right. So it does get a little tricky, but mostly it's just stuck in your scissors and you're just twisting it around and closing your scissors a bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that we have those cut out, you've got some choices. You can use mini glue dots to attach these. You can use liquid glue, or you can use mini dimensionals. I am going to go with mini glue dots. They're fast, they're secure, and I don't feel like this card needs any more like depth to it. So I'm going to grab my mini glue dots. And the nice thing about the mini glue dots is you can kind of like fold them. And so it will give a tiny bit of depth without like the craziness of putting a full mini dimensional under there. That'd be way too thick. All right. So I'm going to place my U where I want it. So I can place my think where I want it. So I want the K kind of going off my circle. That's like purposeful. And I have a mini glue dot sticking out. So I'm just going to use something pokey to push it back under. And then I'll put some mini glue dots, so actually probably just one, on the back of this U. Now where, okay, there we go. And I also want this one just sneaking off a bit. So I'm really just moving over where the K comes down towards the word U. Because before it was coming down just above the actual letter U, and now it's coming down above the Y. So just changed that up a little bit. Oh, thank you so much, Janet. Yeah, this stamp set is unreal. It's so pretty, so easy to use, and I can envision pairing it up with some other stamp sets as well. All right, so now this piece gets attached to our card base now. You can do that however you want. I, of course, am using liquid glue. Oops. So yeah, lots and lots of options. There's like the beach day stamp set that this one would go really nicely with. There's some other like scenery ones. I saw somebody combined this with the, I think it was the fragrant forest. I don't know, one of the ones that has like some nice some of our BC trees there, the pine trees and stuff. So much you can do when you start to combine some of our nature sets as well. All right, so now the last thing to do is to add our bling, and I thought this one needed a little bit more sunshine. So I am using the peach pie because they're quite yellow actually. Peach pie. And, oh, no, where did it go? Oh, there it is. And we're going to just pop those onto our card. So I don't know, the peach pie just is very sunny and warm to me. So that is our third card for today. So I'm going to bring them all back into our view so you can see the whole collection together. So there we go, and there we go. So those are the 3 cards that come in your card kit with a $60 purchase this week, so May 1st to May 6th. And with a $75 purchase, I'll throw in a pack of the Shimmer Gems. So make sure you check out everything that's going on. It's like today is such a crazy big day with the new catalog and the new starter kit deal. The first day that you can order the Country Flowers collection so that you can be a part of my Country Flowers stamp camp with my 4 other demonstrator friends. So it's an amazing 10 card class. And yeah, and then this card class is available, plus just all the great goodies in the new catalog. So much going on. So yeah, check it all out. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Today is my day off teaching, so I'm going to be puttering around the house, playing with new product, and maybe doing a little bit of gardening if the rain holds off. So I'll be available to answer any questions and would love to hear from you. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.